Hello everybody, my name is Benji, and welcome back to Dyson Sphere Program. I am actually currently recording this after episode 17, which is why we've got some research going on here, but I'm going to go on ahead and pause that, actually, just for your viewing pleasure. This is the recap of what happened in episode 16, because my recording audio got corrupted. I didn't have enough time to try to verify it before I uploaded, and I wanted to get the video out, which honestly is on me. I should have just waited, but beside the point, the audio's messed up. I don't have the source recording anymore, so I'm just going to record a recap of what we did in that episode. Nice, short, sweet, and to the point. So we started off the episode with this setup here, as we talked about the import of hydrogen from the gas giants, abroad. So our lovely, lovely gas giant, I hit the wrong button, is right here. It's actually an ice giant, a Australis 3, and it gives us 0.65 fire ice per second and 0.26 hydrogen per second. So we want to harvest that planet, and we already are harvesting that planet, for the fire ice and for the hydrogen, because we don't want to have hydrogen as a byproduct in our systems on planet anymore, and we'll just hit demand from this whenever we need more deuterium, if we run out of deuterium from the little bit of byproduct hydrogen that we're using to currently make deuterium. And essentially the way that these interstellar logistics stations works is I'm pretty sure I talked about this in one of the other episodes, but you can have them clicked with the orbital collector and then have a transport range as well. So I have this transport range limited just in case we find a gas giant or ice giant or whatever in a different solar system. I don't want it to have to be going all the way to the other solar system and then coming back here and taking all that time in transit. So we have the orbital collector box clicked, which means that it will collect from orbital collectors. And then we would set this to remote demand, and it'll just take gas from the gas, ice giant, whatever, and bring it back here from the logic vessels. And I'll actually go and grab some orbital collectors, because we can harvest the rest of the planet. Australis 3, where is it? There it is. And the way that these work is you go up to the equator. You can see here. You go up to the equator. Has to be the equator, by the way. If I go to transportation, you'll see orbital collector must be placed at the equator. And you place these down and set them to remote supply, remote storage. There is no remote demand. And it'll tell you the rates that they actually collect at, and the orbital collectors will just sit here. They'll fuel themselves and hold themselves in orbit using the resources that it mines, because at first, that's why we need the full accumulators in the crafting recipe, because they need something to jumpstart themselves. But then, once they're actually on, you can see here, needs to consume the collected fuel materials to maintain the energy required to work in orbit. So that initial bit from the charged accumulator is what allows us to place it and have it start working in the first place. But then eventually it'll just use the material that it mines in order to keep itself powered and keep itself afloat. And then harvesting the entire ice giant, the entire gas giant, whichever one it ends up being in different systems, it'll be different ones, will simply give us more throughput. So each one of these is like 198 and 81 per minute. So it's not bad. Like, it's really not bad. It's really not that bad at all. And then we can also manually collect resources just by hitting this button and it'll give us, you know, fire ice, hydrogen, all the good stuff, and we can use that to fuel ourselves if we want to. I have deuterium fuel rods on me, though, so I don't really need to do that. Okay, click this and make it stop. I'll put the rest back into the thing. So that was one of the first things that we did, and I'm going to go on ahead while I'm up here, and I'm going to just place down all of the orbital collectors that I brought with me, and then I'll go on ahead and resume with all the rest of the stuff that we did. So now that we're back home and the gas giant is being used to its full effectiveness, the next thing that we ended up doing was doubling our purple tube setup, or just creating our purple tube setup from complete scratch, because, you know, we needed to. I think we doubled it, if I remember properly. So we doubled the throughput of our purple tubes in order to have our mall running at full efficiency, making us the planetary logistics station, the interplanetary logistics station, and then the wonderful, wonderful gas orbital collectors with the charged accumulators, and the accumulators themselves, which I actually do need to just, you know, place down somewhere, probably. Not be a bad idea to do for power throughput purposes. We're running on iron, by the way, but that's another thing. And then the next thing that we ended up doing was our big platform design. And if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure, yeah, I replaced this with the Proliferation Mark II. It just hasn't gone through its stores of the Proliferation Mark I as of yet. And this is working fine. The blueprint has been already uploaded onto the Google Drive, which is in the description of all of my Dyson Sphere program videos. By the way, just a heads up, all of the blueprints I make publicly available to all of you wonderful people, because you are really supporting this a lot, and I really appreciate it. And then the last thing that we designed was this new graphene Mark II design using an interplanetary logistics hub with the fire ice from the orbital collector, remote demand, local supply, just in case we want to make a second one. We don't have to make them both remote demand. We can make one of them local demand for the fire ice, or if there's another purpose for fire ice, which I don't think there is, but just in case, you know, we have it. And this turns fire ice into graphene and hydrogen. And at first, I had my old oil setups back here, so I was actually making a lot of byproduct hydrogen. Now I'm no longer making any byproduct hydrogen, except for from this graphene setup. So our deuterium production, our deuterium processing plant here for the planetary is perfectly fine and able to keep up with everything, so long as our graphene is being used, as well as the hydrogen keeping up with the red science build. And I'm actually thinking about redoing the red science build in the next episode that I do, because there is a way to do red science from oil. It's a little finicky, and I would need to work on the balancing a little bit. But there is a way to do that, so I might end up looking into that at some point near in the future. But that was everything that we did in part 16. Again, I'm very sorry about the audio for that. I'm very sorry that the audio had some issues. I'll try to make sure that the quality is under control and better in the future. Never any promises on that, because this is my, like, part-time gig. This is not my full-time gig. I'm doing it for fun, but it's no fun to give you guys bad content. So, I promise I'll try to do better in the future. But without further ado, thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. Adios, sayonara, au revoir, hasta la vista, das vidania, wiedersehen, ciao, and goodbye. Please have yourselves all a fantastic rest of your day. Get some sleep if you need to. Don't forget to stay hydrated. This video is in the bag, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later, y'all.